Beyond the Veil, Navigating the Great Awakening, a special series on Survivor Angels.
It's time for Survivor Angels, an approach to strengthen trauma survivors. Here, you can escape what draws negativity and engage your positive abilities and the gifts that you've always had. Let's activate your angels. And to help you on that journey, here's Chaplain Jodi.
Jen, July is going to be the 4th of July whole month, don't you think?
Yeah, it is. I'm apprehensive. I'm gonna tell you. I'm already starting to feel it. We're gonna work our way through it. It's gonna be okay, but it's one of those months where we're just gonna have to breathe deeply and kind of blow out, and minute by minute, day by day.
Absolutely. The word that the angels gave me for July is reckoning.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that big?
Absolutely. I keep hearing karma. And
Yes.
that we've been working for 6 months so far, and this is the teeter-tottering of plateauing and going down into new beginning. We kind of hit the plateau. I always think of it like that erupting pimple. It's getting bigger, 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 and at some point it's going to blow. Well, guess what? That's the month. This is the month. It's going to blow, and then it's going to get better.
It will. Yep, because we're going to hit that renewal point. That's what we're going to do. And I love that you brought up karma, because that's one of the things that the angels were telling me too, is it's going to be a karmic month. And I think one thing that people don't necessarily realize, we all think karma. Karma is going to come back and get you for whatever you say, whatever you do. That goes both negatively and positively.
Yeah.
So I think people need to be really conscious of that if you are just feeling like you've got the fireworks going off constantly. I'm going to use that metaphor through the whole show.
Yeah.
Fireworks. But if you feel like the fireworks are just not wanting to stop, you need to step back and look at what you're putting out there as far as your energy.
Yes.
Because it's coming back to you the same way.
Absolutely. I mean, we are all learning lessons, right? Everybody's interjecting their white light into the world. And why is that? Because we know this moment is coming. The 9-year, we're all learning lessons. We don't want to learn again. So it is going to come to a head. And this is the karmic release. With karma, like you said, good, bad. And so we want to get rid of the bad. We want to get rid of the old cycle, that stuff that's no longer serving us. We want to get rid of that. And when we do, there's a release. There's a release of the soul. There's a release of bad energy. There's a release that makes us better, makes us lighter, so we can move on to new things. Now, does that mean that bad stuff that people are doing is going to come to a head? Yeah. That also means the stuff that we've been doing, the hard work that we're putting in, is going to give us a release. So good and bad.
Right. I find it interesting. I already had my glasses with me when you popped out. You're wearing your glasses. It's like, get ready, people, because we're going to dive deep today.
I probably should have brought my helmet too.
But I mean, right away, I have to go to my notes here. July 10th. That is going to be, oh my gosh, that is going to be huge, because it's going to be all about not just karma, but accountability, authority, and legacy. And what this is talking about is mature leadership. And that just doesn't mean our government officials or our church leaders or in our schools, whatever you think of as mature leadership or leadership. This means even us, that we have got to step up and strip away all the immaturity that we keep hanging on to, And look at what we've been doing. And this is across the board. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody.
Right.
This is across the board. And pull yourselves up by the damn bootstraps and see what can I do to stop browbeating people and start leading with positivity for positive change. And Uriel is the angel that you're going to want to call on, because she is the one that brings us our wisdom. And it's going to take a whole lot of wisdom to get through around that July 10th time. What are you getting?
Yeah, I know we're going to go through, I believe, a Mercury retrograde. And
Again.
yeah, and it's going to hang on for a while. And so that just kind of helps amplify stuff going on. So what I'm feeling it definitely from like the 3rd on, but after the 10th, like you said, there are other issues that are going to come regarding what you're saying. So right away around the 3rd, 4th, I'm starting to feel like, be careful, communication, devices, computers, glitches, things are going to start happening. So if you're going to take a trip, give yourself an hour and a half, 2 hours. Don't not expect that. Guess what? We're changing your flight, and now your stayover is half an hour instead of having the hour that you thought you had. All these things are going to start happening, and that's going to cause friction. That's going to cause, anxiety, communication problems, etc. So be very aware of that. Flight issues, a research of all that energy that everybody's feeling, that doom, that anxiety, that's all coming from the earth. And so I'm feeling like, okay, get ready for those earthquakes, get ready for those tsunamis, get ready for the ring of fire. Anybody who's around that, and us being sensitive, we're going to pick up on the energy. So be very aware that is going on, and don't let it influence your decision making and your communication. During the 15th, I'm really feeling, like you said, people need to put their big boy panties on, and the adult parent figure, that's going to really apply to the politics right now. It is not done. We will still have a kickback and a resurgent within the next 2 weeks. I would say 2 to 3. And then I think things will calm. I don't think it's going to be a long-lasting thing, but things are going to start coming to a head politically, so we need to be very aware of that. Now, what else am I feeling? Because of that, I also feel like this is a good time to invest, because every time we go into a conflict, the stocks and everything always have a knee-jerk reaction. So if you're looking to capitalize on, okay, it's going to hit its lowest point right now because lack of consumer confidence, that's when you need to start working with your finances. I'm not really good at that. I just let the money ride. That's just me. But if you are really into that, finances this month could be really key for you. But it's a communication, it's an energy, it's volatile, tangible almost. So that's what we really need to be aware of.
It's interesting that you pinpoint the 15th, because angels gave me the 12th.
Okay.
And that's where they said it's warrior time, and it's time to work on your inner child.
Oh,
what
God,
does that say? Parenting, like you just said.
Yeah.
And so all of us, because our inner child will bubble up to the surface sometimes when we least expect it.
Yeah.
And so we need to bring in Raphael to help with that healing. And then we also need to bring in Chamuel, because Chamuel is the one that helps us with that inner child piece. And so, listen, those two are going to be coming through strong. And of course, Raphael's aura is green, like an emerald green. Chamuel is pink. So if you start seeing a lot of emerald green and pink, pay attention, because they're there and they're guiding you, and they're going to try to help you work through this time, because it's exactly like you said, Jen. It's volatile and it's going to be a little crazy.
Yeah.
And you're going to need to, feel like you got a little bit of a warrior breastplate on, or maybe helmet, to get through some of this. Because then, what was the next date that came in really fast? Oh, the 18th. Then is another one. July is just full. I got so many dates in July. I was like, holy crap, let's just say every day in July is many
Yeah.
dates as I was being given from the angels. But then on the 18th, then they're saying that it's about going back to the earthly grounding piece
Yep.
and love in service. So at that point, angels are saying, turn away from yourself
Right.
and start thinking about how you can help others. That's where you're going to feel the love. And that's part of that healing piece from the 15th with the inner child. And there again, Chamuel's going to be a great one. So Chamuel's going to be hanging around for probably a good week, I would say.
Yeah.
Because because of the political things that you said, that love and service, I think that's a key piece for that. That all of a sudden it's like, don't just sit back and complain about all this anymore, but how can you actually help constructively and positively, not just flapping your gums over what you don't like, because that's not going to get us anywhere.
Right. And I think that's why what we're doing right now is so collectively important. Because a lot of us light workers going, oh my God, we're all feeling this. And what are we doing? Well, we're collectively now sending out this message to everyone so that we can all work together to get through this rough patch, because it's a 9-year. Once again, we've been working 10 years to get to this point, to learn the lessons, to move forward karmically. Do you recall that during this same type of conjunction and the alignment, 9/11 happened? 9/11.
Yes,
And
that
so,
popped. Yeah, that
uh,
popped for me too. Because another piece of this, ooh, I have things moving in here with me. Oh,
now that we talked about 9/11 and that energy, and yeah, uh,
I have a little door next to me that just popped open and it popped shut and it popped open again. Oh my gosh.
ma'am, I think we are onto something.
I think so too. And I know another angel that was popping in saying, me,
Mm,
is Azrael. Um, and I think it's part of that 9/11 piece. We as a nation collectively, and even partially the world, um, we went into major grief mode
yeah,
because all of a sudden things were not as they were, and nor can we go back to how they were. And
right.
with this shift, with this awakening, we're going to go through this same sort of grief. And so Azrael is standing by to help us with that. And part of what Azrael is telling me is a lot of people will, for probably the first time, experience ego death,
Oh yeah.
which that's not a bad thing. Don't, I
No.
mean, for those of you who are watching and listening, do not let that scare you, because that is what is going to align you then with where the universe wants you to be as we're moving into this awakening. Does that resonate, Jen?
Absolutely. I just had a conversation with my husband about this because he was asking how I read and how I work and all this. And we were talking about how ego can never be part of the equation.
Mhm.
And I said, he's like, well, are you just telling them this, or are you getting it from your guides? And it's never about me. I learned that
That's
a
cool.
long time ago, studying, you know, John Edward. And I use him as my mentor all the time, only because he a long time ago told me, if you're doing this work for the pat on the back and hey, look at me and I'm so wonderful, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And they will slap you down, because growth, spirituality, and putting out that light has nothing to do with you. And so when there is a death of the ego, that is when we learn lessons. That's where we can say, you know what, this isn't about me. I'm going to purge that. I just need whatever's for my highest self.
Right. And
Period.
that's where karma comes back into it too. If
Yes.
you are doing everything out of your ego, it's going to come back and bite you just based on karma alone. I
Yeah.
know I had one person about a year ago, and she said to me, "You just do all this with the angels for the money."
Oh,
Please
no.
look at my tax return. It is not for
Yeah.
the money. It made it nice to get a little more, but that is not. I am called to this, just like you are called to your gifts. We've
Yeah.
been given gifts that are for the greater good, not for ourselves. And that's where, everybody has been given gifts that
Oh,
will
yeah.
serve the greater good of the collective. And people need to move into that mindset, and then the karma will change for them. And July, I think, is
Oh,
going to be the month that's going to be a swift kick in the pants for a lot of people.
yeah. And I go back to that comment that you're just doing this for you. If that was the case, your angels would not work with you. You would still have a lot of work to do. So that is anybody that knows you that is so far removed. And I would throw it back and go, wow, okay, what does that say about them? Where do they need to grow? Because that is not okay. That comment is not aligned. So I
Right.
would bounce that back to them and say, I'm so sorry, you need some more work, but start working, start doing the job.
Yeah.
Because karmically, this is the month to do it. This is a karma month. This is a growth month. This could be a beautiful month because if you look at how horrible and how tragic 9/11 was, what happened? There was that release, and then everybody got together collectively. There has to be a relief of some kind for change. So everybody says, oh my God, change is so hard. Yeah, it really is. But
Hmm.
unless you learn the lesson, unless you grow through your shadow work, your pain, then you don't learn. I mean, what do you do when you raise a kid? Nope, don't touch that. It's hot. You're going to get hurt. That is the release.
Yep.
Doesn't have to be earth shattering. It just has to be I'm going to pull the rug from you. Just snap into it, figure it out. This is happening for a reason, and collectively go, oh, okay, this is my sign. What do I need to learn from what just happened? Why is this happening? How do I learn from it? How do I grow from it? So collectively, we can all move forward because I think this is like the pinnacle point to
You
get us
too.
into 2026
Yep.
good.
Yep. Another word that goes along with karma that can be positive and negative, I believe, in my vocabulary anyway, is the word consequence.
Mm,
Everything you do has a consequence, whether it's positive or whether it's negative. It goes along with the karma piece. It
yeah.
was interesting because I was getting ready for us to do this today, and we're going to an event tonight.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, it popped. The angels are going, pay attention to this scenario we're about to give you. This person is going to say to this person tonight, and you need to respond this way.
Mm, okay.
I've only had that on a few occasions, but that raised flags for me, not red flags, because if it's coming from my angels and the way that they laid it out for me, it will start out as a negative experience, it will end as a positive. And so I'm already thinking I have been given a role in this conversation that the angels believe will happen tonight.
Okay.
And these are the sorts of things that people need to listen for. If you're getting messages that are going to bring about more negativity, whether it's in a situation or it's a response to someone, those aren't the angels you should be listening to, first of all.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember that we had the rift with the angels, and you had some that went to the way of chaos, and those that stayed with the light.
Right.
That's the problem. There are too many that are listening to the ones on the chaotic side.
Yeah.
You need to start moving back center, so that then as you get more comfortable, you move back into that light. That's where growth happens. That's where things start to turn around for the better. And July is pivotal.
So pivotal. Yeah, I would just tell everybody, even if you have to put like a sticky note on your mirror as you're washing your face or doing whatever in the morning, buckle up. Buckle up. Protection, self-observation, because this is also a transformative month, like you said. It's evolving, it's volatile, it's there for a reason. And I believe that if you're paying attention and if you're seeing the lines and the little dots line up, pay attention. It's
Right.
for your good. It may not feel like it because change really messes people up, but it's for the higher good. I keep hearing ego for tonight. Somebody's ego is going to get in the way of your conversation tonight, their own personal opinion. And they're so strong about that they're not going to objectively see. There's going to be time that you're going to need to step back on this conversation tonight, and then it will resonate and sink in. But it's going to take a couple days and go, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
Yeah.
But good that your angels are protecting you and that
Yes.
they're giving you the heads up, because I think this will be very good, collectively good. I think the project that you're talking about is so needed. And so I think the right people are there. They just have to step back and see the whole picture better.
Because the follow-up piece that the angels gave me, and I know it was Michael that was talking to me at that point, and he said, and because the chaos may flare even more, he said, you just simply leave the event.
Yep.
And he said, the people who know how to manage their inner child and have done their ego busting, they're going to understand and they're going to support what you're doing. Those that still are hanging on desperately to that inner child and are still all about the ego, yep, they're gonna be the fireworks going off.
Yeah.
But leave it with them because it is them. It's not you.
Yeah.
And
And
so this is for those who are listening and watching, this is how I listen and read my angels, is
yeah.
when they give me pieces like that. I will not be disrespectful. I will be totally respectful. I will speak with positivity. I will speak with love. But I already know, because Michael is already saying, I got your back,
Yeah.
that person is not going to hear it the way that I will be presenting it. That's not on me. That's on them. But
Right.
I will be able to walk out knowing that I communicated what needed to be said in that moment in a loving way.
Yeah. And it's so funny because some people are so stuck. Some people are so stuck. And to look within themselves, to look in our shadow work, to look at our deficiencies is so painful.
It
And
is.
I get that, but you cannot then just blah and spew it out on everybody else who have done the work. At some point, you got to go, okay, that was not okay of me to do that. And
No.
you need to take adult responsibility for our actions and say, this is the consequence of what I said, how I acted, because other people are going to be watching. The people who have done their work, the people who have had those conversations, the people that know you. All this is cyclical, and they're going to go, oh, not expecting that. And they're going to question why. So we all need to be accountable.
Yep.
All of us. And like I said, I saw the EGO, giant letters. And that is going to be the main cause of this conflict for you tonight.
Yep. We all love the 4th of July. We love the fireworks. So I just be ready, because for our relationships, it's going to be a wild month, and you're going to need Michael and Uriel and Jophiel and Sandalphon and Gabriel and Raphael and Azrael. Just
Yeah.
know that your angels are going to be there in full force, and they're going to guide you. And you'll call them in enlightened love, ask them for the protection. They're not going to do the work for you. I
Right.
cannot say that enough. They are not. Oh, the door just went again. Oh my gosh. They are not going to do the work for you, but they are going to guide you to do what needs to be done positively.
Can I ask something of you? I am a novice when it comes to angels, other than St. Michael. I know St. Michael. As I need to navigate this upcoming month, as for all the followers and all the people that are watching, will you put like Chamuel and how this month we can use him, or Gabriel, so that when they come back to this podcast, they can go, hold on, Jodi said that right now I'm needing Raphael. I need him today because this is what I'm going through. So he is my quick book connection. I don't know the angel world well enough, and I probably should. I just connect how I connect.
Right.
But I think that's such a wonderful resource. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're putting out that white light. But if we're going to be a resource, let's be a real resource. Let's call the angels in. Let's open up that gate. Let's open up that communication to help us through this hump so that maybe I'm not feeling my guides. Maybe I'm not hearing what I need to hear. I'm praying, but maybe I need to pray to somebody else. Can you put that resource, or at least like at the very end, like a link or something that says, these are the people you're going to need for this month. These are the angels.
Absolutely, I can do it in the description,
Yeah.
and then on my website, I will do a link to that because I have what I call the little angel cheat sheet on
Yes.
there. And if
Yes.
you see me in person, you can get one from me to keep in your wallet, to keep it handy. And it tells exactly which angels, what their sort of expertise is, which area.
Yeah.
But like I tell people, if you don't know, if you're all of a sudden in a situation, it's like, I need an angel. I need to know what to do. Just say angel or angels, and the right one is going to come through. You just have to speak your intentions in light and love. That's the big thing. Another thing that people, in case we've just got people so rattled right now, I don't want you to be rattled. It's going to be a tricky month to navigate, but you can get through it. A little preparation, because a lot of you maybe were thinking when we talked about the inner child piece. Oh yeah, I have kind of an ugly little inner child, and I want to, you know, just sit him in the corner a little bit for this month. Oh, what I recommend doing is just take out a sheet of paper and write down what you want your inner child to do and to stop doing.
Yes.
Fold it up and then burn it. Please
Yes.
don't burn your house down. Go outside, if you've got a fire pit or a barbecue or something like that, and physically burn that, because that then is releasing everything into the universe.
It
And
is.
you will feel that sense of relief as it goes. We did a similar piece, Sarah Lemos and I, in Sedona, where we had people write down. It was a little different focus. And then we had a nice fire pit there, and Sarah just directed everybody to throw those messages into that fire. And it was amazing because the smoke going up, and you could just hear this collective sigh of relief from the group. It works
It
without a
absolutely
doubt.
does. I mean, everything we do is intention, whether it's
Yep.
prayer, whether it's meditation, whether it's, writing that down, especially during this month, which is so karmic,
Right.
such a transformative, introspective month, because that's what this month is really about. It's introspection. And my childhood, and a lot of people that I've met know that I came from a traumatic background, which I've had to work tremendously hard, 5 years of counseling, plus still a child in progress. But to get that out, to purge it, to write it, physically manifest it. But what I always do is thank it. I acknowledge you. I thank you for the lessons, good or bad, because I've learned something from it. But I am now releasing you, and I will put it in this, burn it, and let it go into the ethers. That is so important to own it, acknowledge it, and I am now releasing you. I'm giving you that energy to go, fly, be free. Just don't come back. Because I've learned that, and I'm adult enough to take responsibility for my actions and knowingly do this. And I think that's where people stumble. We don't like looking at the ugly parts of our life, but guess what? That's what made us. That's all the little intricacies that make us who we are, our fears, our doubts, our hardships, our thought pattern. So important to honor all that, learn from it, and release. Because none of us are perfect. None of us. But collectively, we can get better by sharing our experiences.
Yeah. And know that you're not alone.
Mm-mm.
I know some of you, a lot of you, are already feeling this awakening, this shift in the universe, because it keeps building steam here. Don't be afraid of this. You're not alone. The angels are with you. Your spirit guides are with you. Your ancestors are with you. They're all here to help you. And so if you feel like you're sort of starting to sizzle and burn, that's okay. Know that you're not going to break in that. You're going to heal in it. It's like cauterizing a wound. Think of it that way. And at the same time, you're going to be rising, but don't rush it. Don't think that, oh, if I get up here really quick, this will all go away. No, you want this to come in its own time, but let the rise, the awakening go. Let it begin. Let it continue, whatever point that you're at. Last words, Jen?
I just think it's super important that we all collectively support each other, especially this month. Fear is always the unknown. So we're kind of giving you the template of what the month's coming. So it's not an unknown anymore. Guess what? We just told you what's going to happen. So use the resources. Use your resources. Send Jodi a message. Add messages to this of, hey, struggling with this. I know Sarah on hers says, is anybody else feeling this? And everybody kind of has their own resources. Let this be one of your resources. Of course, prayer, meditation, self reflection, talk. This communication this month, key. Computer equipment might go down. Gas pumps. There's going to be disruption. Just know that. So find that other alternative. Worst comes to worst, hug your pet, hug your tree, ground down. Use all the crystals, blue, we're blue for the communication. So huge. And there's always resources, reach out to me, reach out to Jodi, reach out to your church, reach out to your friends. There are always resources. And sometimes just be alone. Be alone with your own thoughts, your own prayer. Learn how to be okay on your own too.
Absolutely. And if you want to hear more from Jen and I in person, come to the November 8th event in Minneapolis, a one-day event. We're going to have some incredible speakers there, but Jen and I are also going to do a presentation, and you'll be able to ask us questions in person. And so for more information on that, you can just go to my website, chaplainjodi.me, like in me, and click on Beyond the Veil, Navigating the Great Awakening, just like the podcast here, because we would love to see you.
Yes.
So until August, Jen, have a great July.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure we'll chat about it.
Thanks again for joining Chaplain Jodi on Survivor Angels. For more information, go to chaplainjodi.me. That's chaplainjodi.me. And on Facebook at Survivor Angels-Chaplain Jodi. This is Dave Schrader. Until next time, sending you off to activate your angels.